mysterious devil comet approaching Earth for the first time in decades. The so-called devil comet is barreling past Earth and exploding on its way around the Sun, but a researcher who studies such phenomena told Insider that while the comet is large and unusual, its menacing name, a reference to the appearance of horns, does not mean it's posing any threat to the third planet from our Sun, our Earth that is. Known to scientists as 12P Pons Brooks, the comet last made an appearance in Earth skies more than 70 years ago. Judging by its brightness, astronomers have estimated that the solid part of the comet, or its nucleus, is just about 12.4 miles across, roughly twice the size of Mount Everest. Typically, comets are between 0.6 and 1.8 miles wide, so this is about 12 times, 13 times bigger, according to Teddy Kareta, a postdoctoral researcher at Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff, Arizona. Kareta said, "We know it's big, we know it's an outlier, we know it's rare. We also know it's likely to be the most visible next spring, but not because it's barreling towards our Earth in another extinction-level event." In fact, Kareta said, at its closest, the comet will still be about 1.5 astronomical units away, or put another way, even further from Earth than the Sun. It might be bright enough that you can see it with your naked eye or with binoculars, but that's not because it's going to be super close, Kareta said. It's because it's just generally very bright, and huge, of course. Indeed, the comet is both bright and highly unusual. Its horns, quote-unquote, are exactly tails of gas and dust formed by an odd series of explosive outbursts that scientists still do not understand. 2 such outbursts have been witnessed this year, first in July, then earlier this month. An outburst, according to Kareta, is where comets suddenly get much more active, throwing off tons of gas and dust in a short period of time. When this happens, the comet brightens really rapidly and then sort of fades back to the brightness it had before, he said. And in Pons Brooks, these are really, really bright, really, really large outbursts, and this is what makes this comet so interesting to scientists. Well, what I'm concerned about is the debris. If it explodes like this, the debris that it leaves behind in it. Now, we know from the Halley's Comet, we have the Oriodid meteors that we have this time of year. Now, these outbursts, he said, have been particularly interesting due to their frequency and where they occurred. One theory is that comets contain forms of ice that, when exposed for the first time to the heat from the Sun, cause violent explosions. But these explosions have typically been observed closer to the Sun and not often. According to Kareta, it might happen twice in 5 years. The Pons Brooks comet, by contrast, is exploding relatively often and co-fundingly far away from the Sun. Right now, it's further off than Mars, Kareta said, where it's just not that warm. That raises the question, where is the energy coming from that powers these kinds of large outbursts? And the fact that it can apparently do so many and so often. The comet is expected to reach peak brightness mid-April 2024. As it continues on its 71.2-year journey around the Sun, astronomers, professional and otherwise, are looking forward to it. I think a lot of people are really excited about it, Kareta said. This was originally published on Business Insider, and it's on Science Alert by Rupendra Brahmbhatt. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.